James Lux, I'm delighted to join Barry Hearn. We're here at the Premier Suite, so thank you to Scott Murray for accommodating this interview today. Barry, how are you?
I'm very good, and it's just great to come out and see some old faces and people I haven't seen for years. It's like a reunion rather than a speech day.
Absolutely. So we're here, dinner event, but like you say, a lot of old faces for yourself, a lot of blasts from the past. What's it like doing this sort of event?
I always enjoy meeting people, you know, I listen and I don't take them too seriously because my life, I don't take my whole life too seriously because I'm too old to bother with that. But if I'm in the company of nice people, it's an enjoyable day, and today looks like it's going to be a cracker.
Absolutely. I want to talk quickly about, obviously, your time throughout boxing. When you started, I want to talk about the broadcasting changes. Started off terrestrial TV, then subscription with Sky Sports, then we went to pay-per-view, and now we're on, you know, like a downloaded app with DAZN. What's it been like for yourself seeing the changes of the broadcasting?
Well, you know, world changes, doesn't it? Technology changes, things that, I mean, the youngsters today don't realise that pre-Sky, for example, we had hardly any sport on BBC or ITV. Along came Sky and suddenly we got 4, 5, 6 sports channels, and then Eurosport comes in, and you know, and the next progression is to modify that, and DAZN, people like DAZN come in with a streaming service on app for a lot cheaper, but much more specific. In other words, it's boxing only. So the secret of success in business is to be able to adapt to changing circumstances, whether it's COVID-19 or whether it's pay-per-view. You just have to keep a fresh mind on it. Don't say no to anything, and follow the market. Listen to the market. You won't get it far wrong. And the market now is ready for the next move, but potentially away from big subscription services like Sky onto more specific targeted subscription services like DAZN.
With all the different competitors and different platforms that are competing for the TV rights for different shows, etc., is that a good thing for the sport?
Of course, any competition is great for sport. It keeps promoters on their toes. It means broadcasters have to come up with the right money. If you have one broadcaster, they pay no money. You know, if you have one boxer, there's no money for anybody else. But the way the boxing industry, in particular at the moment, this is the healthiest it's ever been in my lifetime. And you've got 5, 6, 7 broadcasters chasing some real good talent, and that talent can maximise, you know, their income and change their lives in exchange for sacrificing their lives. So there's a fairness that's in there now, and it all revolves around competition. It helps when you're the best out there.
Absolutely. Now, we're here today in Cannock, as I mentioned, at the Premier Suite, not too far from a good friend of yours, Sam Eggington. Recently became IBO World Champion. What are your thoughts and, you know, any message to Sam?
I was just so pleased for him. I mean, he's a lovely lad. I like the story. See, I always like backstories. You know, Sam was married young, he was a forklift truck driver, started boxing to be an opponent really, just to get a wage, to get a payday for his family. Found out he had some ability and he's gone from there. John Pegg's done a great job with him. You know, technically he's not the best, that's probably an understatement, but when it comes to heart and resolve, you know, he's right up there with the Mickey Wards and the Arturo Gattis of this world, you know. Great kid, and he's going to, you know, he's going to earn some money, and he's going to safeguard himself and his family, and he's a great boxing story, and I couldn't wish him more success.
And finally, last question from me. A lot of talk lately. Conor Benn, Chris Eubank Jr. Obviously, you had the rivalry between the two fathers. How good would that fight be for the sport, and is it going to happen?
I think it will happen, and I think it's an enormous fight. You know, we talk about backdrop stories, you know. So you can imagine Eubank and Benn and the old men behind them, and the whole country remembering the 18.5 million people that watched their first and second fights in the old days, 1990, and then Manchester United after that. If this happens, this is a massive fight. It's a tough fight for both boys, and Eubank Jr. is a naturally bigger man. But when I watch Conor, he reminds me so much of his dad. He's dangerous. So listen, we're fight fans. We're going to sit back and be royally entertained. And the lads are going to make a fortune. Good luck to them.
And the four of them, some press conference there as well.
Some press conference. I think you'd buy pay-per-view just for the press conferences.
Barry, thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Great pleasure. Thanks.